So, the gods and B. Smith willing, the theatre project should be a goer.
What about the governor?
She's a pretty liberal sort of a lady. I don't think she'll stand in the way.
Well, she's no patsy.
She wouldn't be here if she was.
No, but governors have a habit of taking the reins if and when they feel it's necessary.
Must give your wrist a rest, not having to carry around all those heavy keys.
Smith.
Well, here I am. Never could resist the demands of a lady.
Hi, Mr. Reed.
Hello, B. Would you like some coffee?
Yeah, tell.
Room service isn't what it used to be. Excuse me, just a moment.
You're no trustee.
You kidding?
Well, fancy a responsible member of the club leaving us alone together. So you don't buy Reed's story and you don't buy mine, eh?
Why should I?
Right. But why should I sell you a dud?
I've been sold a lot of goods before, just so someone else can cash in.
Well, you're not wrong. But if you play the system right, you can make it work for you.
Oh, yeah?
Well, you got the gates open, didn't you? Oh, so maybe that was the screws just playing up to you to get what they want. But it's something. You keep your nose clean, it'll be a lot more.
Like what?
Look, when I started this drama group in Exeter, it was to while away the time. But then it got bigger. When I started to get what I wanted. More privileges, more free time.
Top sucker?
No. But at least I got what I wanted.
Well, maybe they're not offering what I want.
Anything's possible if you play your cards right.
Well, coffee's on the way. How's it going?
Well, I think I made her an offer she can't refuse.
I see. So you took the goods from the aforementioned establishment. Then what did you do?
Try to unload him, of course. There was this young fella, you should have seen his face. But he wouldn't take 'em. Must have reckoned they were stolen.
Then what did you do?
Chucked them in the Yarra, Your Worship.
Will there be a psychiatric report?
It hasn't been filed yet, Your Honour. I would request a recess.
What do you mean? The evidence is staring you in the face.
This court is adjourned until 2:30 p.m.
Those rosters finished yet, Willie?
Just.
Thank you.
Oh, Miss Bennett's handwriting's awful. Might have been Chinese. Isn't this your lunch hour?
Yes, that's right.
Wentworth Detention Centre. One moment, please. It's for you.
What's that? Yes, Fletcher. Hello? Hung up.
Can't you understand, Caroline? You have to come back to me.
I don't have to do anything. Not for you.
But you have to repay Mr. Fletcher for his kindness, don't you?
Why did you say that?
Well, he bailed you out, didn't he?
How did you know?
I guessed.
And you phoned Mrs. Davidson, didn't you? I thought you were pretty low, but...
Well, your prison governess can't be much chop if you didn't sack him.
I'm surprised you got the nerve to show your face around anywhere.
Well, I'm entitled to visit my wife, just to make sure she knows what she owes you.
Your wife owes me nothing, but you've got a hell of a lot coming to you.
Don't, Jim.
Get out of here. And if you shove your nose into my affairs again, your wife mightn't be around to stop me.
I can't believe I once thought I loved him.
You better not try anything again.
He won't. He's too much a coward.
I just never connected it. I heard your name, of course, but you were Erica Mann, weren't you?
That's right.
In that case, I may have something that will interest you. Did you know I'm about to publish my memoirs? There's a chapter about your father in it. A fine judge, in my opinion.
Really, I must look out for the book.
No need to, my dear. You're welcome to... No, I insist you see the current draft. My life's work. It's in my chambers. Like to think I've left something behind me when I go. I'm afraid it's become an obsession with me.
Excuse me, Mrs. Davidson. Do you think you could call the guard? I have to go to the ladies.
You're not in custody. Perhaps you'd like a cup of tea?
Fine.
Start as soon as possible.
Yeah, I'll clear it with Mrs. Davidson as soon as she gets back. Oh, Carmel, sorry to keep you waiting.
Well, well, Miss Saunders. Still champion of the underdog?
Yes, you too, I understand. How are you, Mr. Pierce?
Very well, thanks.
Mr. Fletcher's just gone to get Pat.
Fine, fine.
I'll see you soon, Paul.
Yeah.
You too, probably.
No doubt. Bye.
All right, let's go and see if we can convince Pat O'Connell.
So, the preliminary research has been done. All I need now is your approval to go ahead with the appeal.
I told you before I don't want to go on with it. And you had no business to do the research.
Well, I'm sorry. I know I took it on my own head, but only because I thought we had a very good chance of winning.
Like last time?
Pat, last time your son was on trial for murder, and you know as well as I do the public were out for his blood.
But I was still guilty, though, wasn't I? I mean, Herbie testified.
Yes, you were guilty. But what we're arguing is that due to the publicity surrounding your son, you had an extremely heavy sentence. I'm going to ask for a further appeal on the basis that there was a miscarriage of justice.
Well, there has been from the word go.
That's right. And your previous trial and conviction will be brought up, but only because to show everybody how much you've suffered for other people's crimes.
I'm not going on with it.
Pat, you do have a chance. It's worthwhile giving it a try.
Oh, what sort of chance?
Well, it's a very tricky case, and the track record for this sort of appeal isn't exactly brilliant. But, well, there are legal precedents.
But what sort of chance? You know the odds.
Well, on statistics, about 1 in 100, but I really think...
You want to put me through all this for one flimsy chance in 100?
Pat...
Look, I've been through all this before. I thought you people knew what you were up to. I got paroled for Christmas. Then Davy escaped. You know the rest. And you know why Davy killed himself, don't you? Knowing that I hadn't got my appeal. That's all he had left to live for, thinking at least I'd get out. No, thank you, Miss Saunders.
Pat, I know I can't force you, but please, if ever you change your mind...
I never will. You don't know what hope, even a little bit, does to people. I'll serve my time and know that in 18 months I'll be out of here. That's a whole lot better for my sanity than your pie in the sky.
Mrs. Davidson?
Yes.
I'm Dr. Owen, the psychiatrist on Mrs. Birdsworth's
Oh,
case.
yes, of course. I'm afraid I don't know where she is at the moment.
Have you seen a policeman around?
No. What on earth's the matter with him?
Someone's pinched his memoirs and shoved them down the lav.
Oh, Lizzie, don't talk nonsense.
It's true, Mrs. Davidson. I was there when it happened.
Lizzie, you didn't.
I did. Do you think he'll send me back now, Mrs. Davidson?
So it is the opinion of my colleagues that Mrs. Birdsworth has become so institutionalized that she cannot cope with the outside world. Hence, the crime she has committed is not motivated by malice or desire for gain.
Of course it was. I'm a menace to public safety.
Is she in full possession of her faculties?
Of course. Mrs. Birdsworth knew exactly what she was doing when she stole the goods.
Thank you. Mrs. Birdsworth has admitted her guilt. There is no reason to believe she was insane at the time. Elizabeth Birdsworth, I sentence you to 6 months detention in Wentworth Detention Centre.
You little beauty!